This is a review of the article Alcohol Response and Consumption in Adolescent Rhesus Macaques, written by Melanie, Schwand and other authors. Alcohol abuse is a psychiatric diagnosis describing the recurrent use of alcohol beverages despite their negative connotations. Because of the long-term bodily damage it deals, its research importance has grown dramatically in the realm of alcohol use disorders. The macaco mulata, colloquially known as the rhesus macaque, has a particularly long stage of adolescence and therefore was a great animal model for this experiment. The report essentially covers the findings of two unique laboratorial experiments. The first was focused on the examination of acute alcohol administration, and the second focused more on the involuntary use of alcohol. The former model was designed to investigate alcohol-naive animals and their instinctive sensitivity to ethanol. They was first served 2 fixed doses of alcohol intravenously, and then subsequently monitored for hostile or abnormal behaviours. The results showed a decrease in ataxia behaviour, but also an increase in locomotive behaviours. This suggested that the rhesus macaque was swiftly building up a tolerance to the physically apparent effect of alcohol. The second paradigm implemented was designed to analyse the individual differences in alcohol use in subjects first exposed to alcohol during adolescence. The experiment conducted was entirely voluntary without the necessity of any other manipulations, nor was the alcohol available on a 24-hour basis. There were 2 drinking conditions, with single cage testing and social group situations. The animals were firstly exposed to a training phase to guarantee that the animals had experienced the pharmacological effects of ethanol before beginning the experimental phase. They were given an aspartame-sweetened ration until they voluntarily consumed it. The ration was then replaced with one mixed with ethanol to produce an 8.4% solution of ethanol water aspartame for a period of an hour each day until more of 0.67 grams of ethanol per kilogram of body weight was consumed twice or more. Both the ethanol-filled solution and sweetened solution were then made available to the animals for an hour each day in addition to drinking water. Schwand hypothesized that alcohol consumption and reaction was heavily influenced based on gender and essentially a specimen's history of alcohol use. A minor study was implemented to identify the effects of early exposure, but because of limited variation in results, it was assumed that the exposure could not be solely linked to high levels of alcohol consumption in later life. The results of the effects in difference of gender were heavily dependent on the division of animals examined and the conditions they've been placed under. Patterns of various studies showed that males are more prone to consume alcohol in a single cage situation. However, when it came to social groups, there was minimal difference between female and male consumption. Schwand concludes that in order to gain a greater understanding as to the meaning behind these variations in results of acute and voluntary testing in addition to the difference between gender, further research in the form of a 22-hour exposure self-administration model that uses intermittent access to mimic the repeated cycles of intoxication and withdrawal believed to induce dependence would be necessary. The adolescent years present a physical, physiological and behavioural transition in any living organism. This study essentially confirms that the coupling of the alcoholic consumption with these bodily alterations presented very adverse effects in regards to alcohol response.